Okay, guys. Good afternoon. Did you have a good lunch?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, today you've been learning about American heroes. Yesterday you learned about Helen Keller. Very good, Helen Keller. And she was a good what?
A good citizen.
A good citizen. Do you remember why she was a good citizen?
Because he was helping kids that are blind and
Library's closed. Library's closed. Go back to class. Very good. She was helping kids that were blind. Very good. What else?
short. And she was talking to
They didn't know how to talk. So was she a good citizen in the community? She was, right? Today we're going to learn about another person that is a good citizen. Her name was Ruby Bridges. Has anybody ever heard her name before? No? Who has? Well, she was a little girl. How old are you guys?
8.
She was 7 years old, and she was a brave little girl that made a big change for our communities. Okay, so we're going to learn about her, and it's very interesting what she did. So let's pay very close attention to what we're going to do today. First, I want to review our vocabulary words. You have 2 this 6 weeks, right? Does anybody remember what Constitution means?
No.
Constitution, it's the law that we have here in our country. It's the list of all the rules that we need to follow if we want to be good citizens to the United States. So that's our Constitution. It's many years old. So it's very important that we know what it is, because if you want to be good citizens, you have to follow the rules, and we have to follow that Constitution. How do we say Constitution?
Constitution.
Very good. The other word is segregate. Segregar. Segregate means to separate. Does it sound the same?
No.
It all sounds almost the same. Separate, segregate, right? So in years previous to now, many years ago, people were separated by the color of their skin, the race. So do you think that's something that is fair?
No.
No, that's not fair. Do you think that's fair?
No.
I don't think it's fair. Would you like somebody to tell you, oh, you can't sit here, you have to go sit over in the back? That's not fair, right? They would separate the better seats for the people that were light complected, and us that were dark, they would sit us in the back of the bus, in the back of the class. We would have separate schools. So do you think all that is fair?
No.
No? No, it's not, right? So these are the 2 vocabulary words that you've been reading about. And now we're going to watch a video. Oh, we're going to do a little survey. It's going to take us something very quick. Can somebody help me pass the pencils? Does everybody have their name on the top? So before we start our lesson, we're going to read a few of these. And if you agree, you're going to circle agree. If you disagree, you're going to circle disagree. The first sentence says, change is easy. Is that true or false? Do you agree or disagree? Just circle it on your paper. The next one says, it is easy to make friends when you're starting at a new school. Do you agree? Is it easy to make friends when you start at a new school? Agree or disagree? Okay, ready for number 3? Life is full of challenges, but with hard work, the challenges can be overcome. Agree or disagree? Number 4, kids are often braver than adults. Do you agree with that statement or disagree? How about history repeats itself? That history happens again and again and again. Agree or disagree?
My card's over here.
People are usually treated equally under the law. Is that true or false? Do you agree or disagree? That people are usually treated equally under our law. You can put whatever you think. The last one. Being different is different, not better or worse. If you're different, it doesn't mean that you're better or worse. Is that true? Do you disagree? Or agree or disagree? Okay, so we're going to discuss our answers. So let me see. Jose is going to pick up the papers on this table. Roylan's going to pick up the papers on this table. Just keep doing it. Okay, so make sure you have your name on it, and so I can look at these and your answers. And now, we're going to go over very quickly when we are, today we're going to research. We're going to do research on Mac and Villa. So before we do that research, I'm going to go over very quickly some rules that we have. And it's about being fair, using the information that we find on the internet and using that information fairly, okay? Let's say you are at home and you're bored and you decide to make an invention. You want to invent a very fast car that you can control with a small remote or something. So, is it fair that I borrow your car and say, that's my car? I invented it?
No.
No, right? So, when people think about information and they put it on the internet, is it fair that we go in there and just copy everything?
No.
No, it's not fair, right? We need to, in our papers, we need to tell where we got the information from. Why is this not showing? So I'm going to go over this very quickly so we can go on to our okay. So using information ethically. When we use information ethically, we respect copyright laws. So let's say that car that you invented, you get a copyright on it. Nobody can say, I invented this, because it belongs to you. So by law, people need to get permission to be able to copy what you invented, or what you said, or it's in music, or if you wrote a book, anything that you publish, you can get a copyright on. Also, you have the right to privacy. I can't go and tell him, hey, can I borrow your password because I want to get on the internet? Can I do that?
No.
Why not? It's not fair. Very good. Also, I could be stealing some of his things in the internet. So it's, you have the right to that privacy. I can't go and tell him, hey, you know what, this password is 855-925. Because that is cheating. That is stealing. That's stealing property that belongs to who? To only him. So, so you can say, no, you're not going to have my password. Or sometimes when it's your family, sometimes you can lend them the password, but you have to keep that information safe and private. Also plagiarism. When we're looking, today we're going to look for information on the internet, so we have to be very careful that we don't copy stuff right off of the internet. That if you like something that you find in the internet, that you say it in your own words when you write it, okay? And I'm going to be walking around so I can help you with that, okay? When you plagiarize, you're stealing, copying, borrowing, and it's not fair. Also fair use, we can use some of the things in the internet that we find in the internet, but we have to say where we got it, from who, when, and it has to be small amounts. You can copy 3-4 words, but not a whole paragraph, okay? This is a short video on what are the things we need to look at when we're copying information. So we need to cite our sources, we need to say where, right, where we got them from. And copyright is the law. It protects you and me. It protects my work and your work. It protects music, artwork, pictures, anything that you have. To give credit to the person that invented, you have to write the author's name, the place where you found it, was it in a book, in a website, and the year. So if you don't cite your sources and we don't say where we got it from, you are what? Cheating. We don't want to be cheating. So that's it. So when we're on the internet, please be safe, be respectful of the information that you find. We also need to be responsible citizens of the internet. And that's it. So right now we're going to get in partners. Let me see. And we're going to play a little game online. I'm going to show you how we're going to play, and then I'll let you go to the computers. So very quietly find a partner in your table. So as you can see, the computers already have the program on there. So I'm going to give you some numbers. You're going to put in those numbers, and then it's going to ask you a question, and you have to choose an answer. Okay? So let me see this table. Do you have partners? Yes. Okay, you may go with your partners. Okay, the codes will come out. Okay, there's the code. 552644. It's going to say nickname, so put your name, both your names. Just only the first Thumbs up. These are questions on characteristics of being a good citizen. So, first question, what grade are you in? So if you're in first, click red. If you're in second, click blue. If you're in third, click yellow. If you're in fourth, click green. You have 9 seconds to answer.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Click one. So 8 people got it right. If you chose orange, you got it right. Somebody was lost and picked first grade. So now, second grade. Does everybody know how we're gonna play?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. The question's gonna come out on the top, not on your screen. So you have to look over here. The person that answers the question faster, or the team, you get points for that. The faster you answer, the better points you get. If you get it wrong, you get no points. Are we ready for the first question?
Yes.
Okay. So we have to be a little quieter so we can concentrate. Ready? So Rodrigo and Gabriel are in first place. And so here's the next question. What is a characteristic of a good citizen? Red is lying, orange is cheating, blue is truthfulness, and green is stealing.
To be honest.
To be honest.
Tell the truth.
To tell the truth. Yay! Everybody got it right. Okay, next question. Ready?
Ready for the next one?
Thumbs up if you're ready. Awesome. Jose Perlan went to first place. Okay, ready for the next question. Ready? Same question. What is a characteristic of a good citizen? Being brave. Red. Being disobedient. No obedeciendo. Orange. Being blue is bullying. And green is not being helpful. What is a good characteristic of a good citizen? 17 got it right. Okay. What is segregation? What is segregation? To keep people different from different race separate from each other? Is it the law? Is it a drinking fountain? Or is it the newspaper? Very good. So let's see who's winning now. Ready? Gabriel Rodrigo, you want to first place? Ready? Next question. Thumbs up if you're ready. Thumbs up if you're ready. Which is not a characteristic of a good citizen? To respect of self and others, to be responsible, voting, or to be dishonest? Which one is not a characteristic? To respect each other, to be responsible, to vote, or to be dishonest? Very good. Ready for the results?
Yes.
Jaciel and Jose, first place. Ready? Ready? Thumbs up if you're ready. Okay. What is equality? Equality. Equality. How does it sound? To be first. To have the same rights. To be a bully or to be brave? Equality. Look at the picture. Okay. Wow, Tiffany and Isabel are coming right up. Be careful. Oh, I think that's it. So, that was the last question. First place was Rodrigo and Gabriel. So, they get a prize at the end. So, good job, guys. Okay. Excellent. Okay, thumbs up if we're ready. Thumbs up if we're ready. Awesome. That table's ready. The whole table's ready. Awesome. Very good, this table. Thumbs up if we're ready. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to watch a video on what happened to Ruby Bridges. Are we ready?
Yes.
The clash between peaceful protest and violent resistance would produce images that caused the country to sit up and take notice. In New Orleans, on the morning of November 14, 1960, federal marshals escorted a 6-year-old girl named Ruby Bridges to the local all-white elementary school.
I remember turning onto the street. I saw barricades and police officers and just people everywhere. When I saw
Ruby Bridges
that,
now grown up.
I immediately thought that it was Mardi Gras. I had no idea that they were here to keep me out of the school.
Ruby, were you scared? I would have been terrified.
I wasn't, actually, because, it's very hard for parents, I think, to explain to a 6-year-old what was actually happening.
They didn't say it's a white school, you're making history.
I remember them saying, Ruby, you're going to go to a new school today, and you better behave.
But Ruby was making history.
So, Ruby was
Making history.
7 years old. Her background is she's African American. So she had to go to a new school. In that school, there was only people that were of race, the white race. So they didn't want her to go to that school. So if that were you, would you want to go to that school where people are screaming and telling you to get out?
No.
So what is the word that describes her? She was being what?
Bullying. Bullying.
She was bullied? Was she
It was
bullied?
nice.
She was being brave. Do you think she was being brave?
Yes.
Yes. Only 7 years old. So let's see what happens next.
6 years earlier, after decades of struggle, the NAACP had won a major legal victory, Brown versus Board of Education, in which the Supreme Court declared that the doctrine of separate but equal schools was unconstitutional. But in many places, that triumph did not translate into change. For years after Brown, much of the South simply refused to integrate. Now, Ruby would be one of 6 New Orleans children chosen to desegregate several all-white elementary schools.
They were screaming and shouting and chanting 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate.
So this is happening outside her school.
The mothers of downtown New Orleans screaming at a Negro child as she entered the William Franz Elementary School, first in the city to be integrated.
Once I got into school, all of these people here rushed inside of the building. They were taking out their children. Over 500 kids walked out of school that day.
Do you think that's fair?
What is your reaction to the court's decision continuing integration?
Well, you want the niggas going in this school.
Well, this is white school.
They didn't see a child. They saw change in what they thought was being taken from them. They never saw a child.
So, what are your thoughts? What do you think? She was a very brave little girl, right?
Yes.
Yes. Was change good? Yes, change was good. So sometimes people are scared of change, but sometimes change is good for us. So now this is a person that we're going to research today, but and here I'm going to pass the plan that we're gonna fill out together, because this is the first time you're going to do research. And there's 6 steps to doing research. So this is it's called the Big 6 plan. There's 6 steps to finding or to doing good research. So let's go through this plan together. Okay, so this is what you have in your desk. You should have your pencils. And the number 1, right here where it says Big 6-1, you have a task definition. So this is what is going to be our end product. So what we're going to do is that we're going to research who was Ruby Bridges and how she, why was she important in ending segregation and ending being separate. And then we're going to create a telegami, which is a video that you're going to create with your partner. No, sir. You're going to create it with your partner on the iPads. And we're going to answer these questions. When was Ruby Bridges born and where? What happened to her when she was 6 years old? How many African American students were chosen to integrate into these white schools? How did she contribute to ending segregation? And what words would you use to describe Ruby Bridges? Okay, so to seek information, to look for information, we're going to use databases. So right here in number 2, you can write data bases. Can you see? Right here where it says Big 6-2. To locate information, okay. Number 3, where are we going to locate? ¿Dónde vamos a encontrar esta información? So antes de, yes, we can use books. We use the video, right? Hold on, somebody's going to. So right here where it says, sometimes we can use Google, but today we're going to use, we use the video, right? Because we watch the video to gather information. We're going to use Britannica. We can also use books. Okay, so we're going to stay on number 4. We're going to use this information. gonna find information that will help us answer the 5 questions that we have, okay? So where are my helpers? Who are my helpers? Go to the back of the page to number 5. To organize the information, we're going to use the graphic organizer that Gabriel and Juan are passing out. Jose. Does everybody have one? Gabriel, do you have one? Okay. So now we're going to go back to the computers. Remember who your partners are. Wait, not yet, not yet. You are going to need this paper. So before we go to the computers, I'm going to tell you what you are going to write on the top. So your name goes on the top, and today's date. Does anybody remember today's date? November 16. 16. And your name? My name is Miss Macias, so don't use my name. And what American hero are we using?
Ruby.
Very good. Ruby. Does anybody remember her last name?
Ruby
Bridges. Don't forget her name. Ruby Bridges. So the first things that we're going to look for are her birthday, her hometown, and we're going to find out if she's already dead or she's still alive. Okay? We ready?
Yes.
Okay. So please walk back to the computer where you were at.
I got the paper.
So now where it says search, right here search, on the top, Ruby. Ruby Bridges. You're going to put Ruby Bridges. So what that does, it gives us pictures, it gives us articles, it gives us news about Ruby Bridges. So the link that we're going to follow, the video is there, the one we watched. There's also an article about her. So we're going to click the first one. There, very good. Okay, so our first question was what? Her birthday. Let's find out if we can read and here where it says early life. Click there. And what does it say on the top? Early life.
Ruby Nell Bridges was born on September 8, 1950.
Okay, so do we know when she was born? Yes, let's write it on our paper. I'm coming.